This is a dog bulletin for David Chapelle, and I gotta confess, I didn't really put any thought into it, so I hope it isn't offensive to David. But Dave, you gotta come up with a new shtick. It's not really cool to mention the LBGTQ people. For you, it's not cool to mention it. You've created this thing where it's not acceptable for those, for those letters to come out of your mouth. But you're a brilliant comedian, so I'm sure if you try, you could come up with some new material. I do appreciate the way, you do give equal time. For instance, you spend a lot of time disparaging black people, your self-loathing hatred of black people. You couldn't marry a black woman, right? You couldn't marry a black woman. And I'm sure you did everything you could to try to have something other than black children. But that's okay. You should have tried the in vitro fertilization, Dave. But I love it whenever you say the N-word repetitively and you just downgrade people and you talk nasty about black people, because that's a equal thing. It's okay for you to talk about the LGBTQ community in disparaging terms because you disparage the black people. I like it how you kind of move your eyes back and forth like they did, dating all the way back. I mean, you're stealing the same shtick that they had back in Gone with the Wind. If you remember that one scene when the black man, I don't even know if he was an actual black man or if he was in blackface, but he Googled his eyes real high and wide and he looked both ways. It was considered a funny thing. That's what you got to be careful about, Dave. I know you're laughing with the LBGQ community, but when you get into some of your black humor, it looks as though you're kind of being laughed at instead of being laughed with. But like I said, it's okay because it's an equalizing thing. But I am going to say this, Dave. Just because a doctor is prescribing your steroid regimen, it doesn't mean it's really safe. You got to ask that. You got to get with the liver eating guy, the liver king, the man who eats the livers raw. It's the same deal, Dave. You're pumping up. It's beautiful. You're an elderly man. It's a good thing to see, but no one believes you're getting that without at least some creatine or some testosterone or something, And obviously, you got the Max syndrome. You're like the guy off of Always Sunny in Philadelphia. You feel as like you gotta do some body dysmorphia, or whatever you call it, body dysmorphia. I don't know what it's called. But Dave, forget about it. I love you. I'm just saying it's time to try to come up with some new material.